put it over here? You don't care?
No, I don't care.
Because I might just do that and set it over here.
I can see it.
Then I can reach
I need to refer to it.
Then I can reach my drink much better.
And I mean, that's what's important.
That is what's important.
We got to be able to reach the drink.
Right. I wonder if this is pointing at me, so even if I'm turning this way, it's still should be okay, right?
Should be. It worked up to this point.
It has worked up to this point.
Welcome back.
Has it worked well?
We don't know.
Can you get a little bit closer?
Because it doesn't look as crispy.
Crispy?
It doesn't look as crispy when I'm watching the videos,
Mm-hmm.
like when they're a little bit bigger and not on my phone,
Yeah.
as they are like when I watch other videos on YouTube on my tablet. They're really crispy.
Welcome back to the Check Complete podcast.
Welcome back.
We're glad that you're here. Today we're going to be discussing getting control. What do I mean by that? Getting control back, right, in a game. So I think I've been there numerous times, many times, where you have a game going on and maybe everything is going great, or maybe it's not bad, okay? But all of a sudden,
It's not bad.
all hell is breaking loose, okay? Everybody's yelling at you. They're not respecting your calls.
And that's the last place you want to be at the moment.
That is the last place you want to be, because what's happening now, you start doubting yourself, right? Now you're like,
easily.
well, what did I do? What's going on? I want to get out of here.
Should I even be a referee anymore?
Do I want to referee anymore? Mama. So
Call for your mom.
call for your mom. I that's probably one of the worst feelings as a referee. Not being able to figure out what's going on. So what's the reason for that? What could be the reason? I don't think it usually happens in the first half. I think it's a phenomenon that's usually safe for half two. And I think there could be quite a few reasons for that. Maybe you make a call and it's perceived as, well, you didn't make it in the first half and now you're making this call, or maybe it's perceived as being inconsistent, right?
Right.
It could be that, one team is feeling that they're getting a short stick here, probably, I'm going to take a big guess. It's probably the losing team.
Yeah. I would guess that.
That now things, hey, you didn't call this for us, now, but you called for them earlier. I don't know. It could be that, again, losing team has a little bit more pressure on them now that they're trying to come back, and now they're exhausted all the skills and all the tactics maybe that they have, and now they're trying to find somebody to blame, right?
Right.
It could be that different players on the field, a lot of times, there may not be very many substitutions in the first half, but second half, players are getting tired. So you bring somebody else in, somebody new. Anytime you have a new player coming into a game, dynamics change a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So depending on who his player is, he or she might try to insert themselves into the game and maybe a little bit more rough with a little bit more contact than what everybody else had been playing at.
And we're getting tired.
And on top of that,
frustrated.
the players are already on the field, have been playing this whole game, are more tired and not maybe quite as ready to go to deal with that. Usually at halftime during a game, I might ask the other two referees, like, what are we expecting for the second half to happen? And more often than not, it does seem that teams come out on fire in the second half because they now just got yelled at by the coach, right?
Yeah.
For not doing something that he told them to do before the game. Everybody's frustrated, maybe. They're trying to just up their effort a little bit more and trying to take control of this game, right?
So we might have a fiery first 10 minutes
Yeah,
or 15 minutes.
And usually it is like the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half where you really have to be on your guard. But back to, the situation of everything is going well, and then all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. So if you've had that happen to you, I think there might be.
I'm willing to bet they have.
I'm sure there's a couple of you out there that have. Please feel free to share that with us. I think I'd like to hear other people talk about their experiences about that as well. Could be a short video, even if you send it to us, and just give us a little rundown of what happened in that game, and were you able to solve that problem, right?
And if you were, how? How did you solve that?
How did you get out of that funk?
You just start throwing cards and pick them up later.
Pick them up later. I mean that's could be a technique that you're using, right? To start giving cards. Now, I would say whenever you do give a card, it probably needs to have a value. You don't want to just throw cards out there just to give cards. You want to be able to, let everybody know what the card is for, and so they can adjust to the game and the way you're calling it. So, but yeah, what can you do to bring back everybody on the same page as you are, or that you thought you were, and maybe you're just the only one that isn't, So what I personally, what I like to do is I basically just up my work rate. I feel like I'm not gonna just assume that it's everybody else. I'm starting with things I can control, and that usually is run a little bit more.
Run a little bit more, get closer to play.
Because if you're closer to play, that makes you able to see things better. Maybe read into, the players a little bit better. But you can see the fouls just a little bit clearer, right? So ideally, by being closer to play, you're going to be able to get the calls right more often than not. So that's certainly something I do. I also try to just kind of think about what's changed. And is this all players? Is it just maybe just one or two players that are just a little bit out of control? If it's just one or two players, it's probably easier to manage because you can just kind of focus on that and
maybe have a conversation
early with them, or maybe with somebody else, right? Maybe captain, a team leader, somebody that you can get on your side to help you with these problem players.
Captains are good tools.
Absolutely. So we also added this week Tony Sobolewski, also a national referee here from Kansas, that has agreed to send us a couple of videos. And we want to start with Tony since he hasn't been on.
Yeah, let's give the new guy
shot. The limelight here
Let's see what Tony has to say.
Let's see what he's got to say. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Check Complete. This is Anthony Sobolewski, national referee here from Kansas, bringing you a new segment on the podcast. When talking about getting control of a match, we're talking about what to do when everything seems to have gone fine in a match, everything was going great, and then all of a sudden, things start getting out of control. Fouls are mounting up, people are starting to lose respect for you as an official, players are starting to misbehave, and it seems like everybody is disrespecting, yelling, and going at the referee. Tips and techniques to get yourself out of this and what to do when you find yourself in that hole. I think what the most important thing is, for me, that works, is calling fouls. I know it sounds simple, and we talk about it all the time with keeping it stupid simple with that acronym, but we need to call more fouls. If you feel like the game has gone out of control and you're starting to lose the players, lose the coaches, we need to start calling more fouls. Secondly, use your tools. As a referee, we have different tools we can use, whether it's slowing the game down on some restarts, maybe bringing a player over, maybe bringing a captain over and saying, hey, I need you to please help me out with this player or these players. They're not listening. They're not obviously reacting well to my decisions. So that is a good time for you to take the captain and maybe make a friend with him or her and use that to your advantage. Now, if talking and management fails, then that's when we need to bring out the cards. So whether it's a caution, whether it's a red card, if it's obviously warranted, that's when we need to step in as referees and make that count, make that mark, and set the tone. I like to set the tone early, and I like to make sure that the yellow cards have worth, because one of the most important things I've learned is they're treated like money, because we need to make sure that every card is worth what it is, and we're not just giving it away like we would be giving out money to people. So make sure, again, you get control of a game. If it starts getting out of control, calling more fouls, if that doesn't work, slow the restarts down, talk to players, get the captain on your side, get the captain to come over to you to make sure that now it is their responsibility. And if all else fails, make sure you use your cards wisely and try to just take a deep breath, settle yourself down, make sure that your emotions don't mount up to the players, that you keep yourself calm throughout the entire match, and just do your very best, because every game is a learning experience and we're never perfect. Just try to keep it simple, call the fouls, and remember the 5 Ps before the match. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. That should be your goal, and wish you all the best.
Oh, wow. Good stuff there from Mr. Sobolewski.
Thank you, Tony.
Tony, great job. And I pretty much have to agree with most of what he had to say there.
Yeah, for sure.
Calling fouls, right?
That's an easy way to...
What does that do? You're calling the simple fouls that, just slowing things down.
Yep, slows the game down.
Take your time on the restart, right? Just to get everybody back on page, right?
Give yourself a little breather.
Right.
Get your mind right.
Yeah. I do like the piece of, talking to, it doesn't always have to be the captain, right? Because sometimes the captain is the problem, right? I've had games,
it can be
where I need to find somebody else because the captain was the issue in the game and he wasn't helping me at all. So find somebody to talk to, and for sure, try to get them on your side, and maybe they can help you bring back their own teammate for you and help you in the game. Call fouls. The one part I was a little confused about. I do agree, yellow cards, and it's something I said earlier too. Give yellow cards. They need to mean something, right? You can't just give yellow cards just for the sake of giving yellow cards, right?
Yeah. You got to get something out of that card.
And what do you get out of the card? You want to modify behavior, right?
Right.
So
essentially why we use cards.
You give a card to let everybody know, hey, this, you cross that line. This is no okay. It's not okay, right? And if you just start giving cards out, now you're going to confuse people as to what a card it really is.
Somebody may get jealous.
Yep.
And they're like, oh,
I don't have one yet.
I don't have one
yet. But what was he saying about treat it like you're giving money to people? Like I don't give money to people.
I don't give money to people.
I'm trying to do that as little as possible.
I want people to give me money.
I know. That's really what I want to do. So
I understand what he's saying.
Yeah, I know.
And it goes back to just making sure that we get value out of that.
Right, exactly.
Out of that card.
Because money is valuable, right? Maybe that's what he was trying to get to. Just
we don't make it rain cards. Right?
Some do. Some do.
I mean, some.
Not advisable.
Mark does.
The other and quite possibly the most important piece that he was talking about, and move that pricky over a little bit. He's getting a little
out
of sorts. Is to keep calm. Even though everybody is losing their minds and they're going crazy on the field, we as the referees have to, at all times, set the standard for how how to be appropriate, how to act, how to keep you calm when everybody else is losing their minds. Because
was that easy for you when you became a referee?
No,
to not lose your crap.
And it's something that not just as a player, because as a player, like I think I mentioned it before, I was always the one that had really good advice for the referees right in their ear. Always
you had a TED talk every game,
numerous times in the game, which is ultimately why I wanted to become a referee too. But it's also not necessarily my nature to. Yeah, I tend to react quickly, speak first, and then think.
I would agree with that. I tend to match energy. So
yes,
if a coach is screaming at me
Yes.
early on, it was very easy for me to
It's something to
say something back to the coach.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I mean, you're pretty much,
Yeah.
you're done the rest of the match
Yeah.
after that.
It's easy to just snap right back at somebody, right?
Oh,
but
easy.
it's taken me many, many years, and every once in a while I still, fall astray a little bit. But to keep your cool, to not raise your voice, that kind of stuff. It's very, very important.
That's good in life, too.
Yeah.
Not just on the
Bill
soccer field.
Davey, our longtime SRA, just retired from the position, would always say something like players, coaches, and fans say and do stupid things. The referee does not. We don't have that luxury to act out and
No.
if you don't say something back, you can't be quoted for, it's not going to make somebody's highlight reel if you just don't fall in the trap of responding inappropriately, right? So
Yeah.
really big advice from Tony. Keep it cool. Don't get rattled. And he's somebody that does that really well.
Yeah, he's very good at that.
He was the referee on a state championship game 3 years ago. Boys, and it was the big schools, and we had one Hispanic team and one rich white kids. It was the dynamics between the teams was already going to be very difficult. But it was a very heated match, and we had the comms, so I could hear exactly what he was saying and everything. And he kept his cool throughout the match. He was not falling for any little traps that people would set for him. Shenanigans. He kept his cool, and he did a fantastic job that game. And I know that that's one of the things that really makes him a very good referee, and that's why he's a national referee now, right? So that's,
for sure.
I'm sure part of it as well. So good advice there from Tony. Well done. Thank you.
When in doubt, call a foul.
Yeah, I mean, there you have it, right?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah,
brings up a good point, because I think of Andrew Fletcher,
our new SRA here in Kansas.
Right. I remember him talking to me after games, and that was a big thing. Is just slow the game down.
Slow it down, right?
Slow it down. Whatever that means.
Well, that means. Well, what does it mean? I mean,
every game would be different, and every person would be different.
Take your time. Take your time on the restarts.
Maybe make them ceremonial.
Yeah, more often than not. The one thing though that we don't really want to slow things down necessarily is if you do have dissent, right? If you have a lot of dissent coming your way, you want to keep the ball moving.
Sure.
What I suggest is if that happens, call the foul at the spot where you're at. But why do you need to linger around and stand around and wait for them to come to you and complain, right? Sometimes what I do is just call a foul and then take off and get in the next position where I need to be, right? And now the players have options, right? Am I going to chase after the referee to complain about something?
It's pretty easy to deal with that.
Or am I going to be trying to play because the other team is playing?
One of those looks really bad.
Yeah. Now, if you have somebody chasing after you, complaining,
it makes an easy decision for us.
It makes now you have options as far as dealing with that misconduct, right?
And it's obvious for anybody who's watching this game,
right? Yeah. No mystery
what our next decision is warranted.
No mystery why you're giving a yellow card for that player now. It's like, well, he chased you down 30 yards and
absolutely,
and with his arms waving up in the air, right?
Yeah.
And so connect the dots, right? Try to figure out why are things not going well right now, and we kind of talked about that earlier. It could be maybe different players coming in. It could be, the feeling that maybe you're not being consistent with things, right?
Right. I do like his point. If you just listen, you can. If you're missing that piece and you listen, you can pick up things from the players to help connect those dots.
Yeah.
That maybe what may help you bring that back in.
The game will speak to you
If you build it, he will come.
No, but yeah, it's true, right? Try to figure out, what went wrong, what's going on, and then that might help you figure out how to fix the problem, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I do like the part of be a human.
Be a human.
I mean, you're a human, but
We're not viewed as human most of the
sometimes,
time.
right? But just to use that technique, somebody's complaining about a foul, hey, I got kicked or whatever it may be, and to say, hey, I'm sorry. Maybe I was shielded from my angle. It didn't look like much, but I'll try to get it. But I'll try to get it right next time. If I messed it up, I'm sorry. I'll try to do better. And he's absolutely right. People will respond usually very well to that. They're not going to like. It's not an excuse that but don't overuse it.
Like he said, I've always used that.
I use it almost every game.
But the thing is, you use it, and I'll say, hey, I may have been shielded. I had a bad angle.
Yeah.
I'll get it next time.
Yeah.
And if you tell them you're going to get it next time, you better get it next time.
Better get it next time.
Or else you're cooked.
And you just can't overuse. I don't want to say it's an excuse. It could just be giving him a reason why you didn't see something, or
Right.
But if you overuse it, if you keep saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it,"
Your credibility is gone.
Then you need to work on getting it right, to see it, to get it right.
The game is speaking to you in that instance too.
Yes, the game is speaking
you need to change something.
That's right. And late in the game, that might be the time where you want to kill the game. If you're, in the last 10 minutes of the match,
Like he said, 3-0.
and you have one team is clearly winning, losing team is getting very frustrated now. Take your time with those restarts.
Yeah.
On me, keeper, on the whistle, and then take those steps, and go out there and,
Ask the keeper 5 more times if they're ready.
Are you good?
Are you good? Your
So-
AR, are you good? Coach, you good?
Kill the game. But yeah, call fouls, and just try to get back on track. And if you do have dissent, that is, we can just kind of run away and just, I'm not gonna get involved. I'm not gonna respond to this. Great, but things that are public and provocative and certainly like inflammatory towards you or the game, towards your crew, you got to deal with that, right?
You have to deal with that.
You can't just let that go, because you do have to protect the game, and
Because you'll definitely have more of that.
oh yeah,
If you let that go.
yeah, and now everybody's going to be doing it because you're allowing it, and if you allow it, you condone it, right? So, excellent.
sure.
All right. Well, I mean, we have a theme here, right?
There is a theme.
There's a theme. So call fouls.
Call
fouls. Maybe something that you weren't going to call, just a little pushes in the back that you might have let go before. Call him, slow things down, lots of restarts, make sure that the
Fouls in the middle of the field where it's, those are easy ones.
we're not talking about the penalty kicks or anything like that.
No.
Make sure that those are still well earned.
Yeah.
But yeah, call fouls, make sure the restart is taken from the correct position just to slow things down. Makes perfect sense, right? And don't take risks. And by risk taking is what do you think risk taking is as a referee? I would say not calling fouls, right? Looking for advantage.
Not calling fouls.
Looking for advantage.
That's a good point with
I had a game the other day. I was AR2 for it. And we're late in the game. It was the last 45 seconds of the game. It was a high school game, so the clock is, it's well defined on how much time is left.
They got to hurry up.
It was 2-0, and the team that had the lead won the ball in their own half and starting an attack. The attacker comes in. It was a foul, clear foul, and he's giving it an advantage. Nothing else happened there, but my talking point right after was like, hey, you had that foul like with 30 seconds, 40 seconds left over there in that defensive half. Why did you give the advantage? He's like, oh, just thought, keep the attack going. I'm like, okay. That's risky, right?
That is risky.
Because, I mean, almost only bad things going to happen at this point, right? The game is over. There's no way that in 30 seconds you're going to have 2 goals scored by the team that doesn't have the ball.
Right.
That is defending now. The easiest is just to call the foul.
Call the foul.
Have them spend 10, 15 seconds to get that ball back in play.
And now half the time's gone.
Hopefully they could kick the ball long and behind the goal and the goalkeeper has to get the ball and the game's over, right? That's the easiest. Yeah. Don't take risks late in the game like that and try to give the advantage unless it's clearly in an attacking position with a scoring chance about to happen, right?
Yeah.
And what else do you say? Find friends on the field,
friends.
Right? Find the friend, and that can have a real big impact. If you can go to somebody and say, "Hey, I've tried to talk to your forward. He's not responding well to me.
Yeah.
Can you try to help me, please?" It reminds me of remember that one thing with Kenny when he was on in one of the episodes where he was talking about
back,
it was several years, but he was talking about that game with Ruben, the coach Ruben. He says, "Hey, Ruben, I think 15 over here needs a sub," and he goes, "What's wrong with him? He's got a mouth injury." Mouth injury? Yeah, I won't stop running or something like that, right? It's one of the funniest stories ever. But he used.
I feel like Kenny's one of the few people that can
do that.
Can
right?
do that.
But what he did, he involved the coach. He
gave the coach
the option to help him with that situation.
Yes.
He let him know that he's having troubles with the player, and he subbed him out, didn't he? So
he probably had a pretty good relationship with that coach over time,
and that's why he was able to do that so loud across the field like that. But you might be able to at a stoppage go to that coach and say, "Hey, I'm having troubles with your number 10.
So
he's really all over me."
So finding friends doesn't mean finding friends in the moment when things are getting out of control. You can, over your course of your career, you have those coaches and players that you see regularly, that you have a relationship that you can use them later on.
Yeah. And, finding the friend doesn't have to be limited to the time when things aren't going well, right?
Right.
You can do that throughout the game when things
I try to find them early
in the game
in case I need them later.
Exactly.
I might crack a joke or something here and there and see who responds or interacts, and I can kind of keep them in my pocket if I need them.
Right. So, okay. So a lot of things, good stuff that we learned today, I think, about those situations that if you hadn't had one of those games yet,
it's coming.
You're probably in your first week of refereeing. They're going to come, and having a few techniques to hopefully deal with that a little bit more effective and try to get that game back to where it's manageable for you. I think that's what we all want, and hopefully you had got something out of it and might be able to use some of these techniques in one of your upcoming games.
Yeah.
Right.
If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, shoot us a message. Yep. Email. What's that email?
checkcomplete@law5films.com.
Mark will put a little
put that right down there.
Something down there.
And send us an email. Feel free to communicate via the social media. Send us a short video about a game where you might had some issues with players. Things are going crazy, and were you able to get yourself out of that situation? And how did you do it? Right. Yeah. Or you weren't, and it went all the way to the final whistle, and then you had to run to the locker room, right? Something like that. I don't know.
Extraction. That's what that is. State Cup,
at
right?
State Cup and
we need extraction.
Yes, where the carts are all around the field, and as soon as the game is over,
as soon as the final whistle, they're
coming out there
on the field to pick you up,
picking up all the.
They
referees.
don't even stop. They just drive by. You got to hop on.
Yeah. So
it's always fun.
I remember those times.
State Cups are fun.
So, all right. Well, thanks for watching,
Thank you.
We'll see you next time. Check complete.
Check complete.